part two. My device glitched and stopped recording, and then the data is went off again to cover for crimes. I can't use my tablet, and I can't use my government phone. And I'm paying for the tablet. They just have controlled it and hijacked it, and I just really can't use my tablet. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the conversation. What I was saying about Bones, the person from Fountain of Living Word. This is a video diary on how people are enlisted to enforce that the government's enforcing that I'm a doormat and I'm mistreated. It's not up for error. If places don't want to violate me, they typically scam to get me our property. If people are too scared and it's too peaceful, the government will scam a put out, and then they'll put me in an environment to where there's psychological abuse. Psychological abuse is like on Bluffman. I'll play that video for you. But nonetheless, this is about Bones. So Bones found this dirty blanket. It had all kind of disgusting things on it. And it was just disgusting. Bugs on it, all kind of different things. And he said, use this blanket. And it was a form of degrading me. Adrienne did it. She gave me some towels that had hair glue on it and filthy. My sister did. I used to be OCD. They're doing this for a reason. So nonetheless, Bones said, you need to use this. It's good. I said, no, look, that's filthy, embedded with bugs, dirt, bag of caked up on it. It was disgusting to look at. So he said, nothing's wrong with it, and then flicked it and flashed off, shook all that stuff in my face. And I had to sit there and take it. I said, I don't want to use that. And why are you shaking that in my face? I think I even had food. And then another time that I had food uncovered in this new environment, and my neighbor ran out at the speed of light and hurried up and tried to sweep real quick. My sister, my niece did it at my sister's house. I had food, and she tried to sweep and was getting food everywhere. I said, can I sweep? Because I'm eating now. That's kind of disgusting. And I just find it highly peculiar that a lot of people have the same pattern. This is what they do. And then they tried to hide the circle. But it's still malfunctioning. There's no circle, and there's no ability for me to share it until I said something. So on Bluffman, I had this nice dress, okay? This is a boarding home. They claimed that their phone didn't work, and I couldn't use their phone. A sober living environment did it. This is what they did to my new dress. They said that I couldn't wash my own clothes. I begged and pleaded. He said, no, we had to wash them, and this is a result of washing my clothes. In the Bluffman location, they scammed on the hottest days of the year that the AC wasn't working. People were throwing up. It was like these environments were trying to kill me because I'm trapped. They wouldn't let me use the phone. Parkland had stole my ID, my shoes, everything I had. I couldn't get a phone. I didn't have my money, credit card. And the government was deliberately placing me in experiences like this. Like when I'm let out of jail on false charges, they keep my credit card, ID, and all of that. And then they scam that I have to go on a wild scavenger hunt looking for my property. And it causes fear because you're not typically when you're released from jail, you're satisfied because you know you'll have freedom. Well, they scam and release me from jail. They want to make it toxic and traumatic. And then they'll keep all my property and then send me on scavenger hunts trying to get my property, knowing I can't get shelter. Typically there's programs and different things that inmates can get on to get shelter placement before you're released. All that's withheld from me. They scam that they can't help me because of my behavior. So all these programs, even church that I try to get, some of them are so crooked they even withhold the tablets and then blame that on me being mentally ill. That way they don't get charges. So all these programs, I'm trying to be proactive and have involvement, but they're deliberately isolating me and excluding me on purpose. So they don't want me to have access to all those things, and I don't. So nonetheless, Bluffman left me trapped in there and lied about the phone, but the government's prearranging for me to be treated like a harlot. I just felt trapped. So at the Bluffman location, people were throwing up, and I said that this is dangerous. I need to be able to call 911 or something because you're going to kill someone. And then they went ahead and fixed the AC. People were throwing up and sick. Okay, so the Bluffman location had several different strategies on why they were going to put me out. One of them was because that my bra came up missing. He said that I was a no problem. And then all of a sudden he said they stole my bra. I only had one bra. I kept having thefts. I couldn't keep nothing. That's why I look like that. I just stopped trying. I would get arrested, my freedom taken, bullied, put out. So this is how I had to look to be safe. So nonetheless, they stole my bra. And this is the result of that. He wants
I
to put
didn't
me
ask
out.
to get moved. I gave you some laundry to wash, and my bras missing. I wasn't trying to get
your box of laundry. I returned your bag of laundry. Why the hell you didn't
This
say
is why
you
they
had laundry with
this
her?
how I
It was
have to be
just a
talked
bra,
to.
but I didn't want to be moved.
What cow returned your stuff? 2 pieces to this lady.
I don't have my bra, sir.
First off, the government is telling people to treat me like this on these calls. I saw police briefing people on how to be narcissistic and disrespect me, knowing you would never believe it. It is enforced that I'm treated like this.
Do I wear a motherfucking bra?
Well, I just didn't want to be moved just because my bra's missing.
So to add insult to injury, you cursed me out because my only bra's missing. I just got robbed at Parkland. You was scammed everywhere I'm at, scamming that they can't have a phone. Then you tried to kill everyone there because I'm there. No, we don't have AC in July. People are throwing up and sick. I can't call 911 on you or anyone else. So nonetheless, this is
I have a lot of strange things going on in my life, and it's like people start cause problems in my environment.
he knows I'm recording and now he don't want to talk.
I know that we ran out of tissue when I was on my cycle, and now that the bra came up missing, you want me to move? Each time I get into an environment, I have mail and stuff coming here. It's like I keep getting put out everywhere I go. Why would she call the caseworker to have me move just because my bra disappeared?
So then they realized I recorded, not really knowing what's going on, what's happening in these environments, all locations. The sober living environment, someone cursed me out like that. They're staging, here they've done it. They pretend like they're mentally ill as an alibi because strangers can't curse out someone that they don't know. So they scam that they have a mental illness. That way I can be degraded and disrespected. And then it go under the radar that I'm not really being targeted. So the other location cursed me out. The sober living environment, they charged me substantial rent, $400 and something to be violated, but it was nowhere I could go. So nonetheless, one of the parties at the sober living environment, a leader, cursed me out because I tried to pay rent. I asked if the other party that I was instructed to pay rent was there. And they said, no, give it to me. I said, no, he said, instructed me to give it to him. He said, well, F you, bitch. And I said, what? F you. I said, I just thought it would be safer, if he had instructed me to make sure I gave it to him only. He said, F you. And then closed the door in my face. So then another time, the sober living environment had the event. They told everybody else to come, but not me. All the food was ate up and then tried to charge me $10 for a plate. Everybody else ate free, and she completely lied about it as an alibi. She let other parties terrorize me. A lady went through all my things. Things came up missing, petty things. I was robbed of a lot of the things that I had there. And someone would terrorize me every day and, said that I wasn't really being stocked, play mind games. They hid my Bible and my journal. I eventually found it. I thought they stole it. They also had issues with the AC. So the guy that cursed me out, I was on my way to work getting ready, and he said, you have a flat. And then they scammed, they're trying to fix it. But that was really peculiar to me that you would know that I had a flat. Then he tells me that I need to get this particular kind of tire. Don't let them patch it. I'm not really aware of, that kind of thing. And I guess someone milked it. So I'm telling them that I don't want to patch the tire. I want another tire. So the people at the tire shop are laughing at me like I'm stupid. But the man is telling me he's trying to really make me pay excessive money that I didn't need to pay. Because it would have been, I realize now that I just could have had that tire patched because they were selling me a patched tire anyway. So they were laughing because what he wanted me to do was stupid. It was just wasting my money. But some kind of way, he knew my tire was flat and it shouldn't have been flat. It was like he did it. So what's really happening in these environments, okay? My rights are being violated, okay? It's not up for debate. These people are trying to convince you and anyone else that it's really me and they're not really racking up charges for themselves. So they're strategizing a strategy on how they can pull off, causing immense amount of fear for me just trying to get services in an avenue to not be held accountable for it and receive any kind of criminal charges. So this is the way that they pull this off repeatedly over and over. We'll just scare her. which is still a crime.
Actually trying to assist you.
Trying to
So
flee
you're
abuse.
not willing to accept the help that
Slander.
they are offering.
Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship, Tony Evans.
You may either dial 911 for yourself or seek assistance elsewhere.
So I asked the church if there was anything that they can do because it had an extensive amount of abuse, and could the church do anything? So the church says, plays games, and then says that from an extended amount of time, they say, okay, we'll call the police for you. They know that the police are my abusers, and I said, okay, well, we can call them. Maybe since there's a witness, they won't take my freedom or bully me like they repeatedly keep doing. They didn't really want me calling the police, and they didn't want the church to witness how I got violated. So they strategized just to blame me for their crime.
He's gone way beyond us trying to assist you, and you've denied everything that he's offered.
He just said that he was going to call the police.
Okay, looking past the cons, do you see any other woman that people hate her guts for fleeing abuse? Is that peculiar to you?
At this
And being
point,
deprived
you
of
can
it.
either dial 911 or seek help elsewhere because we are.
You look like you're from the Secret Services. What are you here? Who are you? What's your position?
Obviously beyond.
You look like you're from the Secret Service with that earpiece.
He's not from Secret Service.
Okay, well, what do you guys?
It's far from being criminal trespass from the.
Why?
Because you're not.
I don't understand why I go to locations and try to get help with domestic abuse and I get violated and tortured trying to
So this
escape
is a
abuse.
mirror conversation. This is a conversation.
I'm at church.
So the sermon, today's sermon was perfect for this conversation. So let's do this.
The incredible thing about it, they try to entice the ministers to have sermons for me in malice. And that's an incredible story. I don't really communicate it a lot. So the sermon that day, Tony Evans wanted to talk about talking too much on social media. I find that really peculiar that Tony Evans, he is a really great teacher, that he would focus so much of his energy on someone talking a lot on social media. We can say dive into things that I think that this culture really needed, that was more, I would say more impactful. Not saying that, talking too much on social media is not an issue, but I mean, out of all the crisis situations going on today, that is something that you wanted to concentrate on off the top. Out of all the possibilities, that topic meant the most to you as Tony Evans. Nonetheless, it did. So we'll go back into what they stated. Now, just ask to flee abuse. That's it. When I'm not arrested and assaulted.
Let's step outside and let's continue this conversation.
Step outside.
Am I being bullied for trying to get out of domestic violence?
Being given.
Because I was drugged out of IBOC and you guys look like you're from the Secret Service. And I don't understand why all these churches deprive me of
So is there anything that
help
we
to
can
get out of
say to do to
abuse.
get you to not?
He just said he was going to call the police, and then I said, go ahead and call
So
the
here we
police.
are. Here we go. This is the direction that we're
So
about
he's
to
not
go.
allowed to call the police? You're putting me
You're
out
allowed
for...
to call the police.
Oh, so you're putting me out for wanting help to get out of domestic
There's
abuse.
the Secret Service looking
I'm
people
asking
again.
you to step outside.
Right
So
here.
we
Why
can
do you
finish
guys
this
look like you're from the Secret Service, three people?
That's your
May I ask
perception,
your...
man. That's your perception.
Okay, well, what are they? They have earpieces on. May I ask your position?
So, I mean,
They're not.
I don't understand why I'm getting bullied trying to flee a dangerous...
Here's the problem. There has to be something really big that will entice Tony Evans, someone with integrity, to rack up charges for the government. There has to be something big to where the Potter's house, and I'm witnessing police stand over their staff to leave me in abuse and scam, and then say hang up each time. She was actually preventing me from getting help. She called and then hang up before anyone could answer real quick. And then she called a location, Genesis, and she said, I have Miss Clark here. And she said, okay. No, I have Miss Clark here. I'm listening to it. She said, okay. Do you understand me? I have Kiana Clark here. She said, oh, I'm listening to all of it. Yes, I understand. We're full. And I just have to sit. And then she said, I'm sorry, you need to leave. I have other people I have to see. And I got nowhere. Everyone has someone more important than helping me.
threatened and violated.
Okay, please.
Okay.
We've heard you. You said the same
Let's
thing.
hear that
He
again.
just said he was going to call and threatened and violated.
Okay, please listen.
We've already discussed
Please
this.
listen. We've heard you. You said the same thing.
Ma'am.
He just said he was going to call the police, and when I said go ahead and call them because I can't escape the abuse, then he said,
That's
never
what he
mind.
said, and then he brought in his expertise to say.
Get out.
No, he did not.
He said, let's step outside.
Hey, are you gonna listen? Can I get you to listen for a moment?
I don't understand why I'm getting violated,
I
trying
don't
to
understand why
take
you
a
won't listen
dangerous
as we
domestic
try it out.
violence situation.
It's okay. We have an officer that's actually about to come right now to talk.
So my device covered
Oh,
for
I
it.
get
The
bullied.
officer
I
immediately
don't
put me
understand
out.
all these intimidation.
So what it is the government is fully aware that in conspiracy to violate rights is a crime. It is for a reason. So let me show you this. If two or more persons conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person, any state, territory, or commonwealth, possession, or district in the free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege secured to him by the Constitution, laws of the United States, or because of his or having so exercised the same, or if two or more persons go out to disguise on the highway or on the premises of another with intent to prevent or hinder his free exercise or enjoyment of any right, privilege, or secured, they shall be fined under for 10 years or both if death results for the acts committed in violation of this section. Of such acts include kidnapping or attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or attempt to kill, that shall be fined on this title or imprisoned for any term, years of life, or both or many may be sentenced to death. Conspiracy to violate rights is a felony. Let me go show this site isn't showing you that that's a felony charge. And if the kidnapping, sexual abuse, that could be go to a life term. My device is glitching, doing things that I didn't ask it to do when I'm just simply trying to do this. It won't let me click into it. It don't want you to see it. For some reason, my device is covering for it. Again. Okay, let's see. My device is going crazy, clicking things on its own. I'm just trying to show you that it's a felony charge. What happens if you get charged with a conspiracy? It's a felony. So people are going around telling people to bully me. Police talk to the parties at Midcoast 20 minutes. And if all these armies full of people want to rack up felonies for the government, I can't stop you, but the FBI can. And if they ever hold you accountable, you are risking felony charges for yourself for people that you see having big time integrity issues. Okay, I guess I'm done. So I just wanted you guys to see that not only there's armies full of people that are enlisted to torment me and play mind games, including my own family. And we're still going on with this upload right here. Let's see how long it's going to be. It keeps cutting off this tablet. So it failed. And then it just does things on its own. So some kind of way I don't want you to see what happened at Found Living Word Church and how I'm treated at multiple different environments. So let me show you how caseworkers treat me trying to flee. So I asked Jesus, they're not giving me the services.
And then we have to figure out how to do some kind of income to get other options. You don't have no income right now. You say you have child support, something like that. But I don't understand how I asked you a question and you're not answering my question I asked. But you're not listening, so therefore what you want me to say to you? I wanted you to ask my question and not start arguing.
So the government is deliberately, they wanted to sting and they're telling all the people in my environment like they did the other day, start an argument with her, make it traumatic that we don't want her fleeing. These are subliminal messages that you will be punished for fleeing. It's not left up for error. Every environment is controlled. And it's not fair to me that I have to take armies full of people being prepped on how to mistreat me day in and day out, including my own family. I don't know why so many people start arguments when they're not giving me services. Like a team and so they don't have to give it to me everywhere I go. And I don't know why you get on the phone. So I'm asking for help for flea abuse time I get my phone on. So just like the graduation, this is a strategy to ignore me and for mind games. So I'm trying to flee abuse. She gets on her phone and then walks off while I'm talking to her. So she's walked off. So I'm at Dallas Life Shelter. I don't know how true it is. They supposedly they have some kind of thing for women fleeing abuse that you can get services there. I can't get the truth about it. So Dallas Life, I'm there. I'm at Dallas Life currently, trying to flee abuse, not just to be forced into homeless shelters. I'm in a serious domestic abuse crisis that involves the government. Don't know if I'll be killed. I'm getting threatened calls. Cars are coming at me. All kind of cases going on. I can't see my daughter. It's some serious things going on. I've had assaults, someone pulling a gun on me, attacks, all kind of thefts, arrests from nowhere. I almost got killed using transit, assaults using transit, trapped on trains and buses. I shouldn't be in a homeless shelter. I should be in witness protection, but can't get it. So in response to knowing all of this insanity, she starts an argument and it's rude. So I go over to Dallas Life and I ask them about how they assist women flee abuse. And she told me to go somewhere else, basically.
Got it. Three?
That will help.
Did y'all try the Genesis Women's Center?
Oh, is there a particular reason why I can't use the one here?
No, I was gonna say Genesis for women,
Yes, okay, the problem of it is, I said, can you tell me about the services that you have here for women fleeing abuse? Did you go to Genesis?
Anywhere each place I go, they want me to go somewhere else, and they don't want to give me the services they offer. You got one here. Don't you have one here?
Yeah, I was just saying, but that's a
I want to use the one here.
Okay. Yeah, you can get, they'll let me here.
Okay, good.
They wouldn't help. I couldn't get the truth about it. People are sugarcoating that they are helping my abuser and not avoid prosecution for his crimes. Even organizations and businesses, churches as well, and family members.
I was told in Parkland that you guys assisted with domestic violence issues and stalking, and I didn't get any resources on that period from multiple staff, which I reported to you. I have never been a help to get in a domestic violence place, and I've been begging for my life with multiple ACT team staff and multiple parties. Why would they ignore it? I told them I had multiple false arrests, and in fact, someone made false statements, multiple parties. I had told you that, including at the Salvation Army to get me falsely detained to even get to Parkland. So I wanted to know why so many caseworkers, it's more like you're covering for the experiences, ma'am.
So my device is doing its own thing again on its own. So I was expressing what, I don't know if you heard about what happened with Carrie and how she scammed with Dallas Life to put me out the shelter, and how they also did it. They set up protocols and policies that don't exist to exclude me from shelter, knowing you never believe it. So, for example, like at Mid-Coast said that I can be there 3 days and the policy 60 days. So in the scam, they let me, I traveled 8 hours to get to Mid-Coast. And then when I got there, they said that I could be there 3 days. I had a meltdown and reported it to everyone. And then after the meltdown, they said that I can be there the 60 days that I was supposed to be allowed to be there. But they were going to blatantly lie and only let me stay there 3 days until I had a meltdown and informed everyone that I was being violated by the government in tears, and that I traveled and did all this to just only be there 3 days and my safety to be put at risk again. So then after all that happened, but it also happened in Denton at Salvation Army. Salvation Army told me they had a brand new policy that I could only be there 4 days, excluded me from services that everybody else gets. I could only be there 5 days, and there was a cooling off period for 14 days for me. So after the 14 days I came, and then immediately, just like at Target, the police came up like someone had been shot and went in there to go talk to Salvation Army staff. I knew it was about me because it kept repeatedly happening. So Salvation Army lets everybody in and excludes me from it. So I recorded the police, but they know I didn't upload the video of the police yet. All my uploads were being held up. But the security wouldn't let me in. And she didn't have her story straight because I had done nothing yet. So then another police came again. So by that time I had recorded the other police, and their scam was that they had, the police said that they were going to go in and talk to the security and see why security wouldn't let me in. So by that time they used the alibi that they put me out for recording police. Well, I found it highly peculiar that the police had arrived with me like someone had been shot and killed, like what I experienced at Target, that arrived with me and then went off in there to talk to Salvation Army staff that would not let me in at the intake time and did not have an excuse. So then they waited on the police, and then the police's con was because you recorded. But in addition to that, they had this, I was the only one leaving. There were people that had countless people that had been there before me, but some kind of way they put me out within 5 days. This is not being put out, and I can easily go get shelter. Shelters are told to tell me that they're full, getting threatened, violated. That's the very same location. That same day, I was at. That I think, yeah, that very same day. I think it was that same day that I was robbed. So the zip zone would not come for me. And in multiple different times, whoever I was calling was denying me the zip zone, so I couldn't use the transit. So knowing that I couldn't use the transit, someone say that you need a ride, and then I was robbed. And then all kind of other insanity happened with me trying to get a hotel room that you wouldn't believe, so I won't report it. They took everything, 2 tablets, 3 or 4 phones, and everything that I had accumulated. It had been years since I found clothes that were comfortable. I had all kind of eyeliner, all kind of makeup. I felt that my safety was secure. So then I went out and ventured out to fixing myself up. I had more braiding hair. I was about to get my hair done. All of it, all kind of products and new perfume, all of it, robbed of all of it. I had some Uber cards to use Uber to get rides, $100, robbed of that. So I'm noticing these videos, they keep saying that I don't have any income. So I think they're trying to use that as an alibi on why they deprived me of housing, because I do have a little income coming in from back child supports that I didn't get when my children were little. So they're strategizing their words to say, because you don't have income. By multiple of your caseworkers. And they put me in a boarding home in Dallas Life. Okay, let's go ahead and address it.
The next one is, we can't place you in a domestic violence shelter. Only the domestic violence shelter itself can accept you. And only the domestic violence shelter intake social worker can decide that. We have nothing to do with it. And as far as the boarding home, we help place you there. You could have always said no.
That's the abusive one I was telling you about.
So you would have a roof over your head since you didn't have any income.
They know I have income.
I
signed a contract for the boarding home for 3 months.
What?
I signed a contract for the boarding home for 3 months, and I was told that I would stay there for 3 months, and it was only a month. And then I was put out of there.
You've never signed a contract.
I signed a contract with the lady. I went into her location and signed a contract with the lady at the boarding home that I would stay there for 3 months. And she told me that Metro Care required that for me to stay there, and I needed to sign the paperwork, and I signed a contract.
Right, what you signed was a paper saying that it was you that was staying there. It's month to month. That's how it works. And you stayed there for 1 month. But really, there's no reason to go over this because you have an apartment, a job, and a car. Well, I do want to know why for so long I was denied housing, other resources, why would you tell Dallas Life that I had been put out of shelters for my behavior and that was a blatant lie? Donna, at this point,
I want to know why people are lying on me all over the place. I have a right to know why you would tell them, because I called those shelters and they said that they weren't. That's not true. They did not report that. So I want to know who gave that information, because that's a blatant lie. What shelter have I got put out of? Who gave you that information to make that statement and get me put out of Dallas Life?
So what I'm going to tell you is, at this point, you are ready to step down to a lower level of service.
I have a right to know, ma'am. When I was fighting for my life, and I was trying to inform you that your caseworkers were denying me services and support for this situation I was in, who told you that I was put out of those shelters for my behavior to get me put out of Dallas Life when I already felt my life was in jeopardy? Who told you that? Who gave you that information?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know when you told the caseworker that I had was my behavior got me put out of multiple state shelters? You don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
I haven't recorded. So I'm asking Janisa and Carrie. You know, I'm trying to escalate on why I'm getting bullied and mistreated by multiple different mental health providers and social workers and case managers. Okay? I'm asking why every last one of them are scheming to keep me from the resources that they offer there. And in fact, another location tried to give me a criminal trespass because it's on the building. It states that they help with housing and other resources. Then when I questioned, they said they didn't. And then I said, why do you have it on the building? So they got caught in that lie, and then they brought security. This was in Fort Worth. So it's not fair to me that all locations, all of them, not some of them, all of them are leaving me in my domestic violence crisis from my abuser.
If you disregard what I'm saying, not everybody here then providing with services. Why would people not give me the services you guys offer?
Hi. How you doing? I'm Marion. Hi, I'm Mary David. Nice to meet you. I'm the program director here at Dallas Life. So you guys are from Metro Care. Yes.
So here, what's going on here? I don't know what they're doing. All I know is I'm at Dallas Live, afraid for my life, going through this living hell, and I'm just saying that I think it would be safer for me to be in a domestic violence shelter. Why are you guys depriving me of all housing and all the services that you offer? All of it. So then they scam that we'll talk to you about it today. I'm having a conversation with you, and then this lady claims she's from Dallas Live. I don't know where she came from.
The ACT program. Okay, what does that stand for? Assertive Community Treatment. Okay. So we're an intensive mental health program. We do in the field services for individuals with greater needs. Okay. Greater need means greater than coming into your.
What is she doing there?
To your clinic. Okay, I didn't meet you either. I'm sorry.
So their con is to put me out and leave me in jeopardy. That she just randomly came to interrupt the conversation, just randomly. And demanding to know who they are, but I have greater needs. I'm a safety risk for trying to flee abuse. Just randomly. This is hi, I'm so and so. We promise, because that would be a felony. We did not set it up. But randomly, hey, it's like actors. They call it street theater. It's like a play.
That's a strange thing going on in my life.
Okay.
Yeah, and this was a program supposed to help me get housed and different things like that. I thought. Okay, asked me if I wanted therapy in hospital. I was brought to Parkland.
So this is what happened after I was released from Parkland on the false report of mental health issues. When it was a blatant lie, I was sitting at the courtyard and police came up from nowhere. You thought I was playing. Police just came in from nowhere. I had been sitting at the courtyard hours, came from nowhere and handcuffed me and hauled me off to Parkland and stole everything I had, including my shoes. So nonetheless, so they sent me there and then demanded that I be mentally ill for whatever was happening. And then I just got robbed and haven't even, got my items back and just keep on getting put out of everywhere I'm at. So then nonetheless, this is how that went. Nobody would investigate their false reports or the false reports my sister made, which is obvious blatant lies, and making false reports is a crime.
Hospital on false pretenses.
Okay, when was this?
That was May 26th.
Okay.
And this was June 30th.
When I was released from Parkland Hospital. Then they took me in a boarding home.
Okay, were you in the psych unit at Parkland Hospital?
Yes.
For mental health issues?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so from there you went to?
Yeah, but it was a false pretenses though.
Okay.
I want that to be known because I have an abuser that's wealthy and he sets up chaos in my environment.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Have you been under the care of Metro Care or the...
Okay, she promised she's not conning, because that would be a crime. But let's not talk about the abuser. No, let's put that aside. No, let's not talk about your life being in jeopardy 5, 6, 7,000 times. No, let's not talk about that. Were you under the doctor's care? So let's elaborate on the mental illness. No, let's not talk about it was false pretenses, none of that, the police insanity. Let's know. I just came here randomly. It's not a plan, I promise. Nobody would ever believe that. Let's elaborate on this mental illness. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about the mental illness.
Psychiatrist, doctors, before you went to Parkland, when this man set you up there?
Was I under care?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Like, were you receiving medication?
Yeah, we're receiving medications. Yeah, we need to concentrate on that, not that your dead life being in jeopardy.
You had doctors. Were you on medication?
Medication.
No. Are they saying you need medication?
They're saying
They
that.
are telling me that they want me on medication now.
Okay. And how do you feel about that?
How do you feel about
well,
taking
I know if I don't have a choice, I don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So then you came to Dallas Life then.
Yeah, because they wouldn't give me any more funding, and I had to move out the boarding home.
Okay, so you were
I
in
have-
charge of the boarding home? No, you just bring services to the boarding home.
Yeah, we try to bring services to the client. As you know, Metro Care is not a housing program. We don't have
But I mean, you get lots of funds for the board
I
of
don't
home,
need
is
to
that why
know
I'm here?
who you are, I'm
No,
sorry.
you're fine, I don't have paper to sign, so.
Yeah, why am I here?
That's fine.
I see this is rude, you're disregarding me. What
I'm not
happened?
disregarding you, I was
Yeah.
speaking with Ms. Sweeney.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, because I'm walking in, just
Yeah.
close here, trying to.
Yeah, I'm just walking in from nowhere. Bogart in the conversation, I wasn't invited in. I'm just walking into this.
Building home is gonna help you with housing.
Metro Care was paying for the housing.
They were paying for the housing.
Yes,
We
and I'm
paid
asking,
for 1 month of housing at a boarding home.
what happened to the rest of the months that I was supposed to get?
We don't have funding to pay for more months. We don't
They
have
lost
funding
it.
to pay for
Everywhere I'm at.
housing.
Because it would be a felony to do it on
It was
purpose.
supposed to be 3 months, and I
We
didn't
don't
get it.
have funding for 3 months or
Yeah.
2 months. And that's why we got you linked up with this housing program, where with housing at Dallas Life, because that is the shelter that was willing to take you in, because you're banned from the other shelters.
Banned?
Why is that?
Well, we've been told because of behavior.
Behavior.
Okay, what kind of behavior would you
What?
say?
Yeah, that's what. No. Hold on. Because pathological lies and making false reports is a crime. Let's talk about your behavior, not your abuser, not your false arrest and the slander. Let's talk about the behavior. Let's go into
I've
that.
been dishonest, and,
Okay,
so I haven't had any
could
behavior.
I see those police reports?
I don't have them right now, I have to get them for you later. Is there any particular reason you want to put me out here?
Oh, no, I'm just saying, you have police reports, so I think that's.
She absolutely
Yeah.
immediately put me out there.
You've been asked to leave places before.
No, I've been reporting the chaos that follows me.
Okay,
Yeah, so,
so what is your diagnosis at Metro Care?
okay, what's your name? Mary Ann Sweeney.
Mary Ann
Mary Ann Sweeney, I'm being railroaded.
Okay. All right.
I'm real,
I know, listen, I want you to
Okay.
understand something about Dallas Life. We would love to have you stay here, we'd love to have you in the program, we'd love to do all that. But we have some policies in place that we have to abide by. So I need to know if the doctor said you are supposed to be on medication, then I need to know what that diagnosis is. And if you're not going on medication, or you're exhibiting behavior that has shown that you do need that medication, then that's something we need to consider of your intake process here, of whether or not you can stay here. So that's what I need to know, what your diagnosis is.
well, I keep trying to tell you that I'm being railroaded and you don't want to hear it, people are lying on me.
Right.
Yeah, you need to know that. Every time I'm gonna get protected if you don't know that.
Yeah, okay. From just talking to you right now, I think you're exhibiting some paranoia on things, and so that's why I'm asking you what your diagnosis is.
What is the diagnosis? You guys know, I don't know.
I need you to be able to tell her that.
I have depression and PTSD.
Okay, that's what you've been told?
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, has anybody told you that you have paranoia or schizophrenia?
It's on false claims because I have police reports backing up everything that I'm saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. When you get
So there's been places that I went to, like the Texas Women's Center in Fort Worth, that later called the police when they got caught. They've came in and said that we don't offer services for people to flee abuse that have schizophrenia, but strangers. And I think I have it recorded, but I tried to find the video. I can't find it, but it should be uploaded to this channel. So your con is that you don't know me from Adam on the street, but automatically you're saying when I approach you and I'm supposed to be a stranger. I didn't even give him my name. I told him a alias. And then they said that we don't help people flee abuse that have schizophrenia. I said, then I said, what are you talking about? And she elaborated. I said, would that be discrimination? You think that because someone is schizophrenic, that someone needs to have a free reign to violate them? So, but they were being guarded by security. And eventually they scammed like they did at Target, and I was removed. So I came back another time and then was removed again. And all of that's uploaded.
meds, do they give you a shot once a month, or do you receive medication for daily use?
Medication.
Okay, and you take
What they're
those
really trying to
medications?
do is frame me so the government can get away with crimes.
Miss Sweeney, this is the lady who brought it into intake. And you say you are who?
A caseworker, I'm the one assigned to her.
You're a caseworker from where?
That's Janisa that walked off.
Metro Care.
Go ahead, when I just called up here, and I guess I talked to the.
Okay, so they're not scamming because it would be a crime. But how is it in one breath I'm telling you that I'm fleeing abuse a couple days prior and you're walking off while I'm talking? And then you know I'm fleeing abuse, but you want to concentrate on me being put out of shelters. How is that relevant? If all the above parties know that I'm in a domestic violence crisis, false reports, why are we concentrating on some things that didn't happen at other locations? I just talked to Janisa. You heard the video a couple days prior, and she walked off while I was talking, trying to flee abuse. Did they mention this to Miss Sweeney? We are not concentrating on none of that. We're concentrating on slander. Nothing.
Yeah, and that's our guardian, and they told me we're trying to bring her, and they didn't want people to have rooms and stuff to visit her and everything. And I didn't talk to you, but I talked to another security.
Well, I see you,
Shot
you talked to Miss Kirsten.
Oh, yes, her name.
These people don't know I'm recording them.
Because she's the
They do now.
Here's what happens. I'm going to tell you right now from the policy standpoint. Because you are exhibiting things of paranoia. This is what I do with every client. I'm not singling you out or anything. You have to show proof that you have been on medication for at least 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, I mean, that's what these guys are doing. You're supposed to be on that program, provide her with what she needs.
She has been on medication.
So that's what you're supposed to keep me out if you're really in that program.
Because what happens is, this is what happens, and I have people do.
Ma'am. I'm not exhibiting any behavior. I haven't been a problem here. It's a scam to get me out the environment. They made me leave. Okay? So each location, I have to wait until they're going to scam to get me out of locations, like they did the bridge, like they did Austin Street, like they did my apartment scam to take that with the false arrest. Every location has done it. PNS has done it. Austin scam with the false arrest. And then the scam that everything was full when I got out of jail on false charges and slandered me and said that I was a problem to cover for me being violated at the shelter. So they scammed that they remembered me and then slandered me and saying that I wasn't being violated, all my numerous reports, but instead I was the abuser. I remember you. If you come back, you can't be like you were before. And multiple different people are doing this. People are telling me I can't come in stores that I never met. And it's really not fair to me for armies full of people to be enlisted in pathological lies. Why am I still harboring on the past? Because it just happened at Target. I can't go there for a year, they claim. Lying and slandering me and trying to get me detained and lying and saying that my behavior is
I am not
problematic.
trying to detain you.
Yeah, I haven't had any problematic behavior here, period. And you can't hold me accountable for lies and slander. They're saying that problem behavior from this other location. They already know it's not true.
Okay, that is a concern to me. I'll tell you why. Because what I've seen happen in the past is that you will start...
All these places scamming that they're violating me for mental illness is a kind of violation of some rights. It's discrimination. Even if they really did perceive I was mentally ill, but they're really using it as an alibi to frame me with the smear campaign and mental illness. Even if they actually were doing it and I was mentally ill, they would make me a very rich woman because this would be a lawsuit. You can't discriminate someone on because of a disability. They are in their scam. But the government knowing that I can't get legal representation, this would be one excellent lawsuit. How many places have bullied me and treated me and used mental illness as an alibi, as leverage for doing so? Clear-cut discrimination, even in their con. I keep pausing my device and it keeps, doing its own thing. So what the government was really doing behind the scene, they blacklisted me from all support and help. And they tried to strategize it to demand that I get mental health treatment so they can get a paper trail. Not only were they not just slandering me, but I was actually seeking services myself. Okay, that's a great alibi. Now I'm mentally ill. But they close all the doors and then these people demand you have to get mental health treatment to get services, forcing me to admit myself into hospitals to survive and to seek the mental health treatment. I'm living in a tent. I ostracized and isolated everywhere. I can't live. Blacklisted from all restaurants and everything else. It's not safe for me getting threatened 3 or 4 times a day. I have to get the mental health treatment to survive and live. I have no other options. So I get it, and they still deny me of services. So this lady with Parkland VIP, December 7th, 2020, tells me some of the police department got caught. That's why they guard hospitals now and control everything. I showed someone, a person with integrity, my videos. She immediately called Parkland VIP and the police to report that someone pulled a gun on me and all the crimes the government had committed. So this victim's advocate, this control victim's advocate came. She saw the videos, and this is what she said. I understand. Due to COVID, you're a victim's advocate. Hold on, I haven't asked the question.
I'm making sure you're getting the right
It's abuse.
information.
You can't make sure it's like you're a con artist.
It's not VIP. Our counselors aren't.
I haven't asked the question yet,
What is your
ma'am.
question, Ms. Jackson?
And my name isn't Miss Jackson. It's Clark.
Okay.
The question is, I told you I wanted to speak with the victim's advocate. You said you're going to call the police, and then we can report the guy that pulled a gun on me.
That process is, you do it yourself with the police.
Right, but you're calling the police.
I'm calling them so they can come and talk to you.
Okay. So what her scam is, the police department does not want me to have a support system. So her con, all these locations con is that we can't be with you. We can't be your support system for the abusers. Even though it's their job task as victims advocate to be a support system. She's saying you do it yourself. I'm not going to help you, but I'll call the police. That's all I can do for you. In addition to that, which is misconduct, I said I would like to be able to go there and get advocacy and help. You said I can't.
You can. I'm letting you know our policies.
So you want me to be on medication?
If you take I'm letting you know, if you take any medication, you have to be following the prescription 90 days before we see you. So she's saying that seeing someone pull a gun on me and being threatened and violated, all that she saw repeatedly over and over, she demands that before they help me, period, that I'm on mental health medication before I flee abuse. That doesn't make sense. Ma'am, our counselors, for us to see you, you need to be following those policies.
Then you're lying. I've already been there. Pathological lies, just countless locations that still have not gotten felonies. I know. I left. But why would you? So when I was at Parkland's VIP in person, the police department came and demanded that I left. And told then said that he was helping me. Made me wait 3 or 4 hours. It was daylight, and I'm scared to travel at night because of all the schemes on the bus. And then a lot of locations I don't know where I'm at, and they scam to keep me from riding it. And they had set up people to threaten me, so I'm not safe. I strategized my day to combat all the games that are played to me. So then bright and early, I went to Parkland's VIP, all kind of games getting there on the bus, but I got there anyway. And then the police came and said they were taking me to the Parkland Hospital. I was at the wrong part. VIP stands for Victims Intervention Program. They took me to some kind of mentally ill part, then played games for 3 or 4 hours until it got dark, then gave me a bus pass to Presbyterian Night Shelter in Fort Worth, knowing that my safety is threatened by using transit. So it was too late for me to go to a foreign environment. Then it was an overnight shelter. They deliberately waited in malice for it was not so it could be nighttime to, kind of sabotage my ability to flee, and then cornered me into a homeless shelter that was only for one night. I'm watching the police orchestrate all. He wouldn't even let me talk to the party. I went back there multiple different times in that 3-hour time frame. It was multiple different police guarding that environment, not just one. So they wanted to monitor if in case I reported their crimes to anyone else and to make sure that my abuse was enforced. So nonetheless, knowing that you never believe it. So I tried to go back and try to communicate with whoever he was getting to assist me and be a part of it. He excluded me from the process. I couldn't talk to the person, period. He said he would talk to them for me. And like I said, 3 hours later, I got a bus pass to Presbyterian Night Shelter in Malice. So I got on the medication, okay? Because I don't have rights in this country. They want a paper trail. I have no other choice for you to get the paper trail. So I'm on the medication now. So I call Parkland Victims Intervention back, okay? But I'm handling this better now, okay? I realize their games, so I say, I give them partial information so they can't identify who I am, so they can't scheme to deny services. They're strategizing to deny services, and I'm strategizing to combat their games. But it's enforced, so I never see them. Despite nothing I can say, because it's prearranged and bought off and paid, then I never see the services. So nonetheless, so I'm deliberately withholding information, and I called Parkland Intervention Program and I said I need to handle this with care. So I said I'd like information on what you do there. So they played games. Can I have your information? I gave them an alias. Excuse me, an alias. She calls back, and this is what she says. There, in person, the police came and made me leave. So I don't know if the police is behind why all these places keep denying me services. I don't know. She prearranged something and trying to make me think that I can't get that I'm not. I don't qualify for assistance, but they're actually denying it.
So have you been to Metro Care?
What in the world does Metro Care have to do with someone pulling a gun on me and I have multiple false arrests?
So they made.
At this point, I don't know the woman from Adam, and I don't know that it's prearranged and she knows me. All I think is that we're strangers and she had called and I'm telling her about my abuse, but the government is not being careless with this. They're controlling everything under the radar.
Be able to help you with
Even
counseling
POS.
for that?
I will have multiple false arrests, ma'am. It's proving it.
Okay.
And they're almost in the teens.
I'm so sorry, but I cannot help you with that. That's not what VIP does.
Okay, well, I'm sure that you can find an agency that can help me, right? That's what you do is victims.
Metro Care could help you, or Legal Aid of Northwest.
For the false arrests and the assaults? If my abuser has the police department on his payroll, Metro Care can help? Are you trying to frame me, ma'am?
Beg pardon?
Are you trying to cover for it and want me to go to Metro Care to get assistance for all the false arrests? Are you denying services?
I am saying you do not meet our criteria for services. I can connect you with Legal Aid.
Okay, so if you are a victims intervention program, if the person that is the abuser has police affiliation, what do you do? If a person is battered and bruised, someone pulled a gun on me and pulled the trigger, put it up against my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that he was being controlled by my abuser.
Okay. I cannot help with that. VIP doesn't help with stuff like that. If you have...
Victims Intervention Program.
Victims Intervention
They told me, I was told initially
It's a
that if people
conspiracy to
wanted to
violate my
get
rights.
services,
It's a felony.
you don't deny them.
Okay, so I'm not denying you service. What
She's
I'm
denying
saying
me
is
services,
you do not meet
absolutely.
our criteria, and I can refer you elsewhere.
Okay, so what is your criteria that I'm not meeting?
You have some severe mental illness.
Okay, so if I have severe mental illness, what's your name again?
Sunny Hogan.
Sunny Hogan? Okay.
My legal name is Susan.
Okay, why in Itasca, Susan, did the police come and they were trying to frame me for mental illness then too? But the police came and they said I evaded arrest and assaulted an officer? They're dismissed?
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
If all these things are in my head and there's not corruption, why would police lie? Why did someone pull a gun on me and you're denying services? And why, when I called just to get minimal feedback, are you telling me you pulled my chart without my permission and I didn't even sign anything?
Mm-hmm.
Why do these police keep covering for all these things that happen to me and keep lying in the police reports? Why did the courts lie? And why did the courts? So it is what it is, and they have realized that churches are a little dangerous because I may actually run into someone with integrity. So they just guard me at it until I record it, knowing you never believe it. Just guard me. People that look like Secret Service that are hijacking churches, and people that are trying to live their life with integrity, convincing them that I'm worthless and to mistreat me for fleeing abuse. This is what it is. Nothing.